Hey fam, it's Kinsley, and today we're pulling a gem out of the archives featuring my friend, Brent Batterman. He's a master of sales and training, and Brent breaks down his barbell selling strategy, how to win big at both ends of the market, value and luxury, while letting the middle sort of, take care of itself. So you're going to hear how financing can unlock premium sales and why preparation and team huddles set the tone for success, and how asking better questions builds lasting trust. Brent also shares practical tactics for creating unforgettable luxury experiences and explains why ignoring value customers is a costly mistake. This conversation is packed with energy and insights and actionable advice. And plus, we kick it off with a Southwestern shirt showdown. You're not going to forget it. And by the way, be sure and wear your Western gear to the Wanted themed Sleep Summit 2025 coming up October 14th through the 17th in beautiful Bentonville, Arkansas. I don't want you to miss it. We have record registration, a record number of retailers. The content is tight. The networking is going to be unmatched, and we're going to have so much fun. The FAM podcast with my friend Brent Batterman from the archives starts right now. Did you know that 86% of customers buy from the first business that responds? And if you text back very quickly, that number jumps to over 90%. That's why Podium's AI employee, Jerry, is a game changer. Jerry never sleeps, never takes a lunch break, and never puts in a 2-week notice. He's always on, responding in seconds, so you never lose a lead again. Turn missed calls into texts, capture more leads, and close more deals, all with Podium. Want to see how it works? Get a demo today at podium.com/fam. Podium, because speed wins sales. For the first time ever, top retailers can carry the luxury mattress line one of America's top sleep retailers has kept to themselves until now. Introducing Prana Sleep. Crafted from 100% natural materials featuring luxury latex quilted directly into the top panel, it's a feel no competitor can match. Born from decades of retail experience, Prana Sleep delivers premium performance, customer loyalty, and unmatched sleep satisfaction. Your competition is going to hate selling against Prana Sleep because nothing compares. Apply now at pranasleep.com.
In the mattress world, a no at checkout means a lost sale. That's where American First Finance comes in. We help you say yes to more customers, even if their credit isn't perfect. With fast setup, tailored solutions, and support every step of the way, you're not just offering a way to pay. You're inviting them to Yesville, where more people get approved and customers can take home the mattress they need today. Visit AmericanFirstFinance.com to get started.
Welcome to the FAM podcast with Mark Kinsley. This is where the best in the bedding business get even better.
Barbell selling, mastering luxury lines and the value zone. In this episode, the one and only, I call him Pastor Brent Batterman, is here to flip the script on traditional mattress sales strategies and teach you how to dominate both ends of that barbell, selling premium products and capturing the often overlooked value zone. Whether you're helping customers upgrade their lifestyle or stick to a smart budget, Brent has the insights to make 2025 your breakthrough year, and the FAM podcast starts right now. Welcome to the FAM podcast. I'm your host, Mark Kinsley. I'm so excited to have back on the show and back from the main stage at Sleep Summit, the one and only, I call him Pastor Brent Batterman because he has so much passion for his mattress selling congregation. Brother, great to have you back, man.
So great to be back on the show. This is amazing. Thank you so much. And, I love this show. Huge fan, huge follower, but I didn't get the memo on the amazing shirt. That looks awesome. I love it.
Well, thank you very much. This was a gift from my father-in-law. I think it may have not, maybe it didn't fit anymore. So I ended up with this beautiful embroidered Southwestern style shirt. And I should have told you, it is Southwestern shirt day here on the FAM podcast. I should have given you the memo. It's my bad. I wish we could do
I think we need to start this out right. So yeah, I'm going to give you a moment here. We're going to start this show out correct.
Here we are. We're approximately a minute and 31 seconds into the show, and Brent is already gone.
Changing gear. Like this. Yeah.
There you go.
Not only is this going to be a great show, but this is going to be a well-dressed show. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
This just may have went to the
now I'm
very
ready.
pinnacle of performance for this show. I mean, the attire is on point. There's no doubt about it. And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, Brent just stepped off screen and he came back with a less colorful but equally ornate Southwestern pearl snap shirt. And you even have like some piping along the collar with, checks on it, or more like a dotted line as opposed to the solid piping. It's beautiful. Well done.
Well, what's great about this? It wasn't planned, and I had it right there in my closet ready to go. Didn't even know this was a thing, so this is cool. Thank you so much.
Hey, you've always got to have a backup Southwestern embroidered shirt at any moment. Always. You never know when it's going to hit you. You just have to pull it out and have it ready to go. I mean,
absolutely.
Today on the show, we're talking about the value zone and luxury. From a shirt game standpoint, we have stepped directly into luxury right out of the gates.
This is luxury example. Here we go.
I'm sure we can rip the pearl snaps off and, there's a white tank top and there's your value zone.
It's so legit. And I'm sitting here like, I'm trying to figure out why my shirt has like 5 snaps. I mean, not one.
Yeah, you've got.
Oh, that's nice.
It looks like you have diamond pearl snaps along the cuff.
It's luxury. What do you got on your sleeves? I don't know. What do you got? I'm not done.
I've got a snake with a wrench on it. You like that?
That's legit. When you flex, it turns into a cobra. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, when you flex, it strikes. Well, Brent, hey,
so much
good
knowledge
to have you here.
Given.
We're looking good. Hey, part of selling, some of the stuff that you've taught us over the years and some of the things you taught from the main stage at Sleep Summit was, getting yourself in the right mind frame for when people do come in the store. I feel like this shirt helps with that. Let's start there since we're talking about clothes. If you're going to be selling luxury and selling the value zone, is there a uniform?
I'd love to say there's probably quite a few different uniforms out there. I'd probably say that a lot of companies would have a strong opinion about us giving recommendations on that. But what I do think, what it really comes to, it may not be the shirt, but it definitely can be the headspace and what we're doing prepared to get in the store. A lot of times I've heard the examples like, oh, you got to be zoned in right when you open that door and lock the door. And there could probably be a lot of truth to that, but I found where I've had my most success, and the people that are around me found that had the most success, is when people start getting mentally prepared way beforehand. And this just sounds so cheesy. You should probably cut this out, but like it starts with like getting up, having a good breakfast. You got a good night's sleep beforehand. And to me, I love going for a run or doing some type of activity and just kind of going through my day and just getting mentally prepared. And I think that right there, having the right headspace to sell both value zone mattresses, if you will, and high end, I think it really starts before you even get to the door. I really do.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, somebody said one time, a buddy of mine was a Boston Marathon runner, and he was giving me some running coaching tips because I was going to do a half marathon. This has been like years and years ago. But I remember him, talking about the week leading up to the race and how important it was to drink water. And he said, you can't hydrate the day of. You can't hydrate the day of the race. You can't wake up and get enough water into your body so that you can go out and be successful. That entire 7 days, 2 weeks, really leading up to when the race was happening, he was like, you got to be peeing clear. And so he really emphasized that, but it really kind of speaks to the same point of like, you need to constantly be in a state of putting yourself in a great position with your mental health, your fitness, your sleep, so that when you do show up and that customer is standing in front of you, whether it was something you did that day to get ready for your day or all the small steps that were over the course of that past week, you're ready when they show up.
I couldn't agree more. And like, I'm holding back because like, I really just want to I could talk 4 hours on this topic. And the problem is that there's a couple things. One, people would stop listening to me and I don't blame them. And two, we're not doing any earth shattering knowledge. Like nobody literally is stopping the podcast to be like, oh, I didn't know that. Like I got all my information. We know that, but we do that. And here's the deal is like, do you want to be a top performer? It doesn't matter what industry, but I believe when it comes to sales and when it comes to sports, I think there's a lot of similarities, and pairing to be successful is key. And I know there's some quote out there, if you're not preparing, you're preparing to fail, or something like that. And I'm sure the audience will be able to send that in the chat if you have one. But it really is getting that mindset, getting off to a great start and being dialed in, eating good breakfast, being prepared, showing up to the store and ready to go. And I also think there's a little bit of practice in that as well, not just being prepared.
Yeah, and I think that if I were going to give advice, unsolicited advice is abuse, friends. I just want you to know that. But if I were going to give advice, follow my own advice. It's getting that workout in the morning as well, releasing those positive endorphins, getting a win under your belt so you've already had some success. Man, I just show up as a different human being when I work out, especially in the mornings. So that's always a plus as well. And look, we're in the wellness space, I think, when it comes to sleep. So taking care of yourself and making sure that, fitness is a part of it, man, it just makes you feel like $1 million. Me anyway.
Well, I got one thing here to add, and I just put this out there. I love all of the people in the mattress industry, and I'm going to suggest something, and I'll probably get a lot of boos on this. But when I was a district manager running multiple stores in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and if I needed a really good Saturday, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. So many people are going to be mad. If I wanted a really good Saturday, I would have a Saturday morning sales experience. I would. And I would get the whole team up. We would get to the store at 7:30. I'd give them coffee, breakfast. We would practice. We would get some high fives. We'd give some shout outs. And the time they hit the store, they'd be a little bit early. They'd be dialed in. And we just had better Saturdays. I couldn't give you the exact number, but it felt like we always got a 10 to 20% increase because the team got together. We gave some shout outs, best practices, and we were just ready when 10 o'clock came. Secret sauce. I do it all the time if I was a district manager.
You're not going to get any booing from me, my friend. There's no booing here. That is a cheer. So let's go there. So you're dialed in, your frame of mind is great. And here on the show today, we're going to talk about two seemingly opposite sales experiences. But you and I have been talking, leading up to this podcast about the market conditions. And man, it just seems like if you were to really segment them, you've got value products and luxury products. And if you're doing well with those, the stuff in the middle is either going to be death or it's going to take care of itself. But there's easily $2.5 billion worth of mattresses being sold on Amazon today. And to not be paying attention to that level of product, people are buying that product, clearly. Like the numbers are there to support that people are buying those low-end products or those value-priced products. Meanwhile, the people that have money seem to always have money. And so maybe we're in this world that sort of is a haves and have-nots. In the mattress game, what's your view of the lay of the land whenever you think about selling value and selling luxury? How do you prioritize that? How do you think that through?
This is me, and there's probably a lot of different ways to speak through this. I think they're very similar in a way because, we talked about preparing. I think you got to practice, which we'll talk about a little bit more. But I think it's having that mindset. I was very lucky to be on the stage at your conference, and it was amazing. And I talked to a couple simple things. It's like, one, first 2 minutes, a customer walks in your store has already made the decision if they're going to buy or not. So one, smile, make a friend before you try to make a sale, make it personal, because when you do that, you're going to win if it's in the value zone or if it's into the luxury products, because they've already made their decision if they're going to probably buy from you 80% of the time. That's what research tells us. So making that first great impression, I will always lean into every time I talk because it's so important. It's just a way to kick off the sale in the right way. And two, smile, make a friend, use name exchange. It's huge. And so if we do that, I think is a big part of it. And I know a lot of times when you talk about retailers, if it was me, I would lean into really dialing into mattresses under $1,000 because there's so many reasons why you'd want to do that. We'll talk about luxury in a moment here, but to me, I know for a fact every time I open the door, or a majority of the time when I open the door, there's probably going to be a customer that walks in looking for a guest bedroom bed or something under $1,000, under $700. And to me, the best time to make a sale is right after a sale, and getting that rhythm and taking care of that first customer, I think is so important. And you may not always have a customer that walks in selling $5,000 or $6,000, but I promise you that $500, $600, $700 does walk in your door.
Let's talk strategy and just talk a little mattress industry insider for a minute. It seems like a lot of people have veered away from selling products that are value priced or products that potentially belong in the value zone. Now, the criticism of the industry for the longest time has been advertising a $199 queen set and commoditizing our products and driving the perceived value into the ditch. So I understand this push toward luxury products and trying to sell bigger tickets. But you and I have talked about this. Why should people pay attention to the value zone? Some people are just saying, I give up. Amazon's going to take it. There's nothing I can do about it. I might as well not mess with it. I'm just going to concentrate on luxury. You don't think that's the right approach?
I don't. There's a couple things that I could probably speak to. The first one is, I think this conversation, for me anyways, has been around since 2001. I've been so blessed. I've talked about this a lot as well. As I believe all the success that I've had in my career is because of the amazing mentorship that I've received and coaching from so many people in the industry and my leaders. And one of the things that I saw in a meeting one time, and this is fantastic to really bring home that point, and this was almost 15 years ago, I'll just put myself in there doing this. I walked into a Saturday sales experience meeting, which we already talked about, but I walked in and I started talking about just random stuff that was going on. And then as I was talking, I would keep dropping $20 bills, $10 bills out of my pocket. And eventually someone's kept looking and did you do that on purpose? And then one person would always run and grab the $20 and run back and sit down and just smile. I'm like, why did you have so much energy and excitement? They go, that's $20. That's $20 more than I had. I'm like, cool. And I'd always say, if we had that same energy and passion, excitement to take care of every customer that walks in a store on beds under $1,000, we would win at retail. Because having that energy and passion, it is $20. Maybe we don't make the most amount of money, and it's not about money. It's about taking care of the customer, but we also need to pay the bills, and taking care of 5 or 6 customers at $600 and doing it with energy and excitement will add up over time. And we said it was the best time to make a sale is right after a sale. And the other thing, Mark, that I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I honestly don't know. I said it yesterday too. I was like, it feels like retail's walking away from mattresses under $1,000. However, I was at Lowe's the other day, and they're getting in the mattress business. It feels like every company outside of ours is getting in the mattress business under $1,000. Not just Amazon, but if you look, all these random places that never sold mattresses are doing bed in a box. So they're out there, and they see it as a way to get a customer a great night's sleep and earn their business.
Yeah, you're seeing it across the board. I mean, you're absolutely right. I've been to Lowe's, I've been to Home Depot, I've been to Menards. These stores, Costco, these stores carry mattresses. I know Kohl's is selling mattresses online. I think that really speaks to this idea of how to position yourself as a luxury salesperson, because if somebody is going to make a considered purchase for their back, for their wellness, for their master bedroom, they understand the value of getting a good night's sleep and how important the mattress is. That's the consumer that's going to come in with higher expectations and is likely going to be willing to spend more money. It is tough to compete against Lowe's whenever people are walking in there to do a home refresh or a remodel. And when they do that, they're, 6 times more likely, I've read, to buy a mattress, when they're moving. So I can understand people kind of being like, all right, what's my lane? What's my value proposition? How can I communicate that to the marketplace? But at the same time, it's like, you don't want to walk away from that business because it's there. Even if it's that same person who's getting their primary bedroom, maybe they have a guest room and they don't want to spend as much money. Maybe they have a kid going off to college and they're like, this kid can sleep on a rock. So I know people don't want to walk away from it. And I know that we've been hesitant, I think, as an industry to really lean into it, at least in the sleep shop capacity. But that business is there, and the replacement cycles are getting shorter. It used to be 9-10 years. Mattress Firm came out with replace in 8, but then I saw some data around bed-in-a-box buyers, and it was like 2 to 3 years. So
is that crazy?
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So I don't want to ignore that part of the business, because I think there's some there's a customer base there. Even if you're just acquiring new customers, and that volume of customer acquisition leads to a network effect of customers who then tell their friends and family about you, at least you got that.
Well, even as a whole, the entire industry said, you know what, we understand there's a lot of places bed in the box, but when you come to us, not only do we have that product, but we're going to get you taken care of. We're going to get you fitted. We have a selection, we have options, and you can try the mattress in the store, and we're going to help you. We're going to try to help you sleep better. And I think it's always going to come down to the service that we provide the customer when they come into our store. And if we continue to lean into that, people will continue to come and buy mattresses from us.
All right, let's actually dig into some nitty gritty. I want to give everyone listening some actionable takeaways, something they can share with their team, something they can talk about at a Saturday morning meeting. Let's talk luxury. Let's say What's like the meta skill that you need in order to be a luxury salesperson or close that luxury ticket?
So I'm going to take one step back. I still think it's making that first great impression. Make a friend before you try to make a sale, smile, name exchange. I think that because when you do that, you're starting to build trust. The other thing is I'm big on questions. Like I believe right now, I'm not the best salesperson out there, but I believe I will be proficient on the sales floor because even if I didn't know the products, and I've never seen the mattresses before, I think I could still sell luxury products by letting the customer know that I'm excited and I'm going to be able to take care of them. And I'm going to ask them great, simple, open questions to really find out what they're looking for. And I think that the best approach, questions on questions about questions to really find out what they're looking for and then give them direction. But when I'm asking questions, I'm also going to do something that we always say we do as salespeople. I know I struggled with this when I first got on the sales floor. I'm going to do this crazy thing called listening. I'm going to listen to my customer and really understand what they need. And that's key. So when I find out exactly what they need, what's keeping them up at night, what's really bothering them, then I can give them direction on what mattress to really try and show why that mattress is the best for the thing that's keeping them up at night.
You know, something just hit me, Brent, because you and I are completely aligned on this idea that good are your secret superpower. They just are. And like you said, you have to listen, but something just hit me that I don't think I've ever thought about until now. So thank you for the light bulb moment. When you're asking good questions and you're truly listening, most of the time, the most logical response is another question. So when you ask a good question and then somebody answers, more often than not, they didn't just give you a complete dissertation and all the inputs you need to map their specific situation over to a product. Most of the time, they left a lot out and you need some more information. So for example, I used to tell people, I did a training around questions at one point when I was working with, it used to be Mega Group back in the day. And I did a training about questions. And I remember we went through the scenario of somebody saying like on the sales floor, you know, I'm having a lot of trouble with my back. Well, what the hack salesperson or maybe the novice salesperson jumps into giving advice. Okay, your back's hurting. Well, let's go over here and do this. We'll do the adjustable base. But probably the more mature response of the one who's accessing that superpower would be my back. You know, I'm having a lot of trouble with my back. The response I would recommend would be, well, what do you make of that, or what happened, and just giving them space to continue to talk. And sometimes it's just silence. Silence is good enough, maybe even better than a question at certain points. So I think when I think about selling luxury and asking those really good questions, it's giving that person space and breathing room to really get it off their chest in a way and really tell you what's going on, and then nudging them along with, well, what do you make of that? Well, tell me more. And then just shutting up.
You know, you can 100% agree. I can, you know, if you're observing in a store, I can directly see, let me rephrase that. You can always tell the quality of a mattress a person shows and sells a customer by the quality of question they ask that customer. So if you want to sell better beds, ask better questions. And I always think of, you know who asks really good questions? Moms. And moms have the best example. Let me give you this. When I was growing up, like if I got home late, my mom's like, why were you up late? I was out with friends. No, she'd be like, what were you doing? Where were you at? Why? I mean, she would ask question on question about questions to really find out the answers. And it's kind of a silly example, but we should really, really find out what's keeping that customer up and find out how long it's been bothering them. Is there anything that they've ever tried to relieve some of that back pain or shoulder pain and really understand it?
Yes. Seek to understand. And like you always say, make a friend before you make a sale. We talked about this a little bit before Sleep Summit, but since we're talking about luxury, we're talking about really good questions. Number one, you and I got into this sort of philosophical discussion that I really enjoyed about make a friend before you make a sale. And my feedback to you was, I think there are a lot of people that are pretty lonely in the world these days, which means there are a lot of people that don't know how to make a friend. So how do you make friends? And we kind of get into this philosophical discussion about, should we teach people how to make friends at Sleep Summit first so that they know what you're talking about and they can apply that on the sales floor? How do you make friends?
Well, it's especially in a group of amazing salespeople, listening, I think, is a part of it. Because when you listen, you build trust. And it really comes down to that. And using the name exchange. So let me give you an example here. So have you ever met somebody like 2 months later, Mark, and you had a great conversation, you connected, and they're like, hey, Mark, how are you doing? How's Tara doing? And they just remember everything, including your dog's name. and they walk away after the conversation, and you just have this thought. You don't plan to, but you just have they are so nice and they're smart. Like, I can't believe that. I mean, they're sharp. They just remember everything. Like, we give them this amazing amount of credit for just remembering our names and our family members' names and our dogs' names. Very important. Like, if you want to win my wife over, just remember our dogs' names. And she's like, they are so nice. But which is interesting, the opposite happens as well. And we've all had that one person that we know, they're friends of our friends. So we're not really close with them, but we kind of meet them probably once every 6 months. Maybe you meet them see them at a restaurant or an event, especially if it's a little bit smaller of a town like Fort Worth is. We have a nice, beautiful town here. And there's always one person you met like multiple times, and they're like, hi, I'm going to make this up. Hi, I'm John. What's your name again? I'm like, Brent. And the first time, no big deal. But like after like 6 or 7 times, they're like, Brian? You're like, Brent. Bob, Brent, and you're just like, man, they don't care. Burt Butterman, like eventually, and you don't mean to do it, but you're like, man, they don't care. They're kind of mean. You just feel that way, and it's just about the name. And we all have that, because people are like, oh, that's not really true. I'm like, okay, let's make it a little bit closer to home. Have you ever sold a mattress to a customer? You had great rapport with them, and they said, perfect, I'll buy this. What is it? And they're like, it's a purple adjustable mattress with pillows. And they go, I'll buy it. And you're like, awesome. And you're walking to the desk and you're like, I can't remember. Like, you're having this conversation, this panic moment. You're like, oh, I don't remember their name. And they're going to spend like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. But then when you get to the desk and you have to ask them their name, you do 2 things. One, you say, hey, how do you spell your name again? And they're like, John, John. You're like, oh, I didn't know if it was just with the N and not the H. Or you say, hey, can I see your ID again? And they know you're not buying beer. They know what you're doing. But we know it's important because we do not want to sell a mattress and get to the desk and say, what's your name again?
The most beautiful word in the human language is your name. And when people say to me, they say, I'm bad with names. I usually say, is that what you tell yourself? What if you told yourself, I'm good with names? Why are so many people in the world bad with names? I don't think that's true. I just don't think we're making it a priority. But the most beautiful word in the human language to Brent is Brent. To Mark is Mark. To you, it's your name. And it's something. Now, I will say this. It's not so beautiful when you hear your first name and your middle name together, because growing up, you're in deep shit.
Yeah, 100%. Well, here's what I think is a good advice. And I believe you can invest $5 and get $500, $600, $700 in return investment. And all I think you have to do, see if I have one here. I usually do, somewhere around here. Spend a couple dollars and buy a notebook, just a notebook, and tell the customer you're going to take notes. And right when they tell you their name, write it down. And it sounds so simple, but we don't do it. And the second thing that I would do is write out on several pieces of paper 3 or 4 of your best open-ended questions to really find out what's keeping the customer up at night. And write their name down and be like, hey, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I want to make sure I show you and find you the right mattress. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions about your recent quality of sleep? No one's going to say no. And the person across the street hardly ever does it. And that right there makes a big difference. You want to sell luxury? I think right there, lean into that will help you.
I think that's brilliant. And I've never actually heard anybody recommend that. But number one, it solves the name issue because you write their name down right away. And then you can use it. People love to hear their name. And then, like you said, you've got a little bit of a cheat sheet in terms of like making sure you're holding yourself accountable for asking all those questions. But the other thing I love about this, and you kind of said it, I'm going to say it differently. You can tell that customer, hey, do you mind if I take notes? Because this is your sleep. And we got to get this right. I want to make sure we get this right for you. It's too important. So you emphasize the importance of this decision and how you want to make sure that you can be their guide for it.
You want to talk about selling luxury? I'm going to build off of what you said, Mark. See, this is awesome. I love these conversations. You take great notes. Number one goal has to be to help find the customer a great night's sleep. And if they're going, well, what's the difference between, I'm making this up, $2,000 mattress and this $4,000 mattress? I'm going to recommend, one, first get what you want. But if you really want to spend a little bit more on a mattress, I'm going to highly recommend it because you said you haven't had a great night's sleep in a year and a half. You said your shoulder's been bothering you for almost that entire time. This mattress has pressure relief material that's actually going to be better for your shoulder. It's going to help you sleep better. You're going to wake up with less pain so you can do more by just that little bit more of an investment. You said it. It's not me. And you take yourself out of the equation and you're really giving them the information that they need to make that best decision for themselves.
And it's been shown time and time again. It's called mirroring. But whenever you mirror somebody's words or you paraphrase back to them what they said, it makes them feel heard because you're proving it. You're proving that you listened to them. And then if you did get it wrong, by hearing it back, they could be like, no, that's not quite what I meant. Great. Let's clarify that so we make sure and get it right.
How many people leave? We can talk about this another topic too. How many people are spouses? How many times has my wife or your spouse got mad at you because you listened too well? They're like, oh man, you listen to me? I can't believe, Brett, you're always listening. Every time I talk, you just listen. You stop what you're doing. You take notes. Said nobody. And customers are going to feel the same way. They're like, why are you buying a bed from them? Well, I ain't going to buy a bed at Brent Mattress store because he listens. All they do is listen. They really try to help you. They're like, said nobody. If you want the secret sauce, it's that. Asking questions, taking notes, and giving them a reason on why they should get that mattress, which goes back to practice and preparation and understanding, knowing the facts of what's in the mattresses. And I saw this the other day, and I don't want to throw you a curveball, but I read this and it's like kept me up at night. In a book that I recently purchased about our industry, they gave a percentage. I think it was like 40% of sales associates do not know what's inside the bed or something like that. And I'm like, I love our team. And that's just a good way to start, by knowing what's exactly in the bed, and not just what's in the bed, but the benefits, and letting the customer know what that benefit is, because we all know what a pocket of coil is, but my family members don't know what it does. Well, what it is this, that, and this. So
I'll tell you, that might play right into the luxury selling conversation too, because let's just imagine for a minute that you were plopped down on the sales floor at a Heston store, the buffalo check pattern, beautiful mattresses, $100,000 beds, and you had to sell a $100,000 bed and you had one day to prepare. What are you going to do to prepare? I think you got to prepare like with really good questions. But when you make a considered purchase of that level, people are going to want to know what they're buying. Like, what is the engine in this thing that I'm buying? Yeah, it looks pretty on the outside, but I need to understand this and how it's going to benefit my sleep, or at least give me a yarn that I can tell my friends that's really good, so that whenever I go and brag about this purchase, I have something that I can speak back to, because, heritage, craftsmanship, those sort of things. Yeah. So not knowing what's in the bed when you're selling luxury, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, I also think, having your elevator pitch, I think we all have it, but do we ever write it down and just kind of practice it and really perfect it? Because I think there's really 3 elevator pitches when it comes to selling all mattresses, especially luxury. It's one, having your quick elevator pitch on why you love what you do or why you do what you do. I think people buy from people that are passionate about what they do. If you don't believe me, next time a customer asks you about what you do, be like, I don't want to be here at all. I hate what I do. They ain't buying from you. But I love what I do. I love the mattress industry, and I know so many people do. So that's one, tell your story and why you love what you do, taking care of people. 2, a little bit of elevator pitch about how great the company is you work for. And 3rd is a little bit about that mattress. Like you said, I need something to tell my friends why I spent $100,000. Well, let me tell you why you're going to spend $100,000 on this mattress. And you have that little bit of elevator pitch. And I think you have to have quite a few little bit of elevator pitches, short, sweet, to the point. I think will definitely help you sell more luxury mattresses.
Give us your elevator pitch for something that you've taught on the stage at Sleep Summit, which was leading with financing. I think this is kind of controversial. Give us your hot take and give us your elevator pitch for leading with financing. And why do you think that ties into selling luxury so much?
Well, you didn't know I did this, but I actually text, I would say 10, maybe 12 people. If you're one of the people I text, almost every one of them responded back. Thank you. I asked them, have a conversation on luxury. What's one thing I should talk about? Almost every one of them said financing. And why? Because I believe it gives the customer a better experience. One, because you're putting money in their pocket. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to talk about financing. I don't want to talk about this. Well, there's a lot of information out there that suggests that customers, before they go into a store, one of the first things, or one of the more important things that they look for in what store, is who has better financing. I've heard numbers from 40, 50+% of customers. The number one thing that they look for when they shop for a new mattress is financing. And people are like, oh, that's not true. Cool. Then why does everyone advertise it? Why, when you drive past any mattress store, they always have long-term financing? If it's not important, then take it down, because it is important. It's important to that customer. Why? Because we sometimes need a mattress that's a little bit more than $1,000 to get the night's sleep that we want, or we just want to spoil ourselves, or we spend 8 hours a night in it. So we should get a great bed. And when you break up a mattress in payments, it's easy, it's affordable. It allows them to get the mattress they want, not make sacrifices. And if you look at what we buy and how we buy it, more times than not, we buy in installments. I can't think of one thing that I pay full price for other than tires and groceries. I pay upfront full price for, because I'm just looking around right now. Think about a home, your cell phone. People are like, I don't pay monthly payments on my cell phone. The average person right now pays $135 a month. If you take 135 times 60, that's $8,100. And most people have had a cell phone for more than 10 years. So what is that? $16,000 you spend on your cell phone? Why? Because they break into monthly payments. How many people would have an iPhone if you had to pay $8,000 up front? So when you allow a customer and you give them money up front, they can get exactly what they want. They have a better shopping and buying experience, and there's no sacrifices. And you get rewarded too, because you're selling a better bed. It's about monthly payments. And it's not just about monthly payments. It's about bundling everything together. It's not about, hey, this mattress is $8,000. And oh, by the way, I have a $135 pillow over there. Who wants a $135 pillow, or who wants to pay $135 pillows? Even though it's so important, it's your head and your neck. How important is it for that to be supported? A lot. I'm not a doctor, but it feels like it should be a lot. But when you break it into monthly payments, you don't have a $135 pillow. You have a $4 pillow a month, and it provides you better sleep, better neck support, less headaches. Who wouldn't pay $3 a month for that? It's cheaper than Starbucks.
We're talking with Brent Batterman with Bedhead Marketing. Pastor Batterman, we're talking about, we've spent more time talking about luxury, leading with financing, building trust by asking great questions, and active listening, which I would argue leads to a lot more questions. And, trust being the foundation of this selling environment. Take us down a couple steps further. So when you're in the luxury space, you're doing all those things, and then you're creating personalized recommendations, and you're delivering a memorable experience. Walk us through that.
Give me a little bit more context. I want to make sure I don't repeat myself, because I really want to give some more.
Once I guess maybe the question better put is, that was kind of vague on my part. You've done all these things. You've led with financing. You've asked really great questions. You've established rapport. You've made a friend before you made the sale. Once you gather all these inputs and the foundation of the relationship with this customer is kind of set, it's feeling good, how do you make a recommendation based on everything you've heard and map it over and then build value in the product? Like, how do you be like, okay, here's what you need. Now I go into recommendation mode. How do you handle that?
What I like to, for me personally, this probably won't work for everyone. I like to, be a part of that journey. So it's not like I'm trying to sell you a mattress, but I'm trying to help you select a mattress. And that mindset is it's just a little different, but it makes a huge difference on the sales floor. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you save money. I'm here to help you get a great mattress. I'm here to help find a mattress that's going to help you sleep better. So with that, all the information that I got from taking notes, I'm going to say, here are 2 beds that I recommend. Let me explain why I recommend them. Go ahead, try each one of those beds for at least 4 or 5 minutes. And by the way, I'm going to show you what the adjustable bed can do. And don't worry, that's only $10 more a month. It's $135 total. I'm going to raise the head, put the feet up. You try that for 5 minutes, try the other mattress, and let me know which one you like better, and we'll go with that one. I think helping them go from 3 to 2 and let them decide which one works better. Give them options of 3.
I love that, by the way. And I think you said something, I want to put a highlighter right over the top of it. And that was flip the switch from selling to helping them select. That's really powerful. Like, that mentality shift right there is like, no, like, friends go shopping with friends because they're going to help them select the right thing. They're there to advocate for that person. Friends or family members go to the doctor with friends or family member because they're going to help them choose the best care path based on what the doctor said. Selling versus selecting, that's fire.
Well, think about it too. The bigger the purchase, the more trust and that conversation needs to happen. Like, we don't require that when we go buy a soda or a pack of gum at the convenience store. We don't need them to know our name. We just it'd be awkward if they did. Like, hey, Mark, how's your day going? We appreciate that. And then at the end, we're like, here's the gum, like, purchase. But the bigger the purchase, the more time we need to spend, find out exactly what their needs are, and having that friend or that person's truly out there to help me makes all the difference in the world. Especially think about buying a house. I mean, some of these big purchases, like, you want to love your real estate person, or trust them a great deal when they're helping you find a new house, because how nerve-wracking, and make sure you get the right house. You're going to be there for 30 years. I think it's important.
All right. So I'm going to put a bow on this thing. Wait, there actually might be a bow on my shirt and your shirt as well. Is there? Maybe not quite a bow, more like a boa constrictor on the snake right there.
That's what I'm talking about.
There.
I saw it. Love it.
So as I think about this, we were talking about this barbell selling environment, like making sure you're getting your value zone customers, those lower price products, call it what it is, and making sure you're selling luxury. And then the middle is going to kind of take care of itself. You actually said that to me. What do you mean by the middle is going to take care of itself?
It just feels like if you're doing all the right things to take care of the customer under $1,000 and you're telling customers at luxury, now it's just, those are all best practice to do both of those areas. It feels like it really requires planning, preparation, energy, excitement. And then you have to have just as excitement, if not more excitement, under $1,000 that you have to do to your luxury mattresses. And if you're doing all the right things, the middle will take care of itself, because all those best practices will just carry over to every presentation. Because really, to be great at retail is about being consistent. If you want to be great, sell a mattress, be consistent. Have the consistent presentation. Anybody and everybody can give a great presentation once a day, but can you give a great presentation at 8:00 at night when nobody's coming in your store and someone's coming in and you're about 5 minutes away from closing? If you're consistently giving a great presentation at all three areas on the sales floor, you're going to take care of a lot of people, help them get a great night's sleep, and they're going to reward you financially for doing so.
Man, that takes a lot, though. I mean, even what you just described, 8:00, about to wrap it up, and that person comes
so
in.
Hard.
Do they want to be greeted with a lot of energy? You just have to tell yourself, I'm gonna like, this is the play that I perform every night, and it's an opening night for everybody that steps onto my stage, essentially. So am I going to give him an opening night showtime performance, or I'm going to be sticking the keys in the door saying, take a look around, I'm going to lock up here in a minute?
Let's take that. Let's make it. Everyone's like, oh, I do that. Oh, maybe we do, maybe we don't. If it was easy, everyone would do it, and we wouldn't be talking about it. But football's happening right now. I don't know if you're a sports fan or not. Just relate a lot of sales things with sports. And right now, if it didn't matter, maybe you're sitting on the sidelines all day and then the game's on the line and you're a kicker and you find out your kicker didn't practice all week, they weren't prepared, and they missed the winning field goal to get your team to the next round of the playoffs, would you be upset, or would you be like, hey, it's not his fault. He didn't have to make a field goal until the fourth quarter with only 3 seconds left. It's not that big of a deal. Or would you be like, I can't believe that he should be fired. I can't believe he didn't prepare. I can't believe he wasn't focused all game. And it's very similar. To me, just be prepared. It's hard. It's not easy, and be dialed in.
You're the kicker at sometimes. And then the last thing, I got to put a bow on it with this. Coaching after the up. You're huge on this.
This is coaching and mentoring. I'm big on it. Like, to me, I need to spend the next 40 years, if I have them in me, to giving back and coaching back. Because I've been so blessed in my career, both professionally and personally, because of mentors that have taken the time to help me. Like, I went from college to selling mattresses, and I had no clue. I've never had a sales job in my entire life, but people that I'm so grateful for took the time to mentor me, not just make sure I practiced, not just make sure I was prepared, but also coach me after every up. And it's simple. It's easy. It's one of the best things we can do. If you're a store manager, if you're a district manager, if you're an owner, or if you've just been there for a year, if you find somebody that just started, you don't have to interfere, but just sit back and take notes and keep it very simple. I said I like the number 3. Here's the 3 simplest things. When they're done, if they sell the mattress or not, keyword. A lot of times we just focus, when they walk them, which let's not. We only coach them then. No, you should coach them a majority of the time if they sell or don't sell. And 3 questions. 1, what did you do well? 2, where was your opportunity? And 3, if you had an opportunity to redo something on your presentation, what would you do? And to me, what I love, leaders go first. I don't know if you ever heard that, Mark. I just made it up. Leaders go first. If you really want to have coaching culture in your organization, 1, I guarantee I'll put everything I own that your sales will go up, customers have a better experience, and you'll develop your team with those 3 simple questions. Leaders go first. So if I'm a store manager, and I used to do this all the time, 2006, I really did this every time. In Raleigh, North Carolina, loved what I did. I would have the person that just started a couple weeks in, I'd be like, all right, when I take this customer, here's a piece of paper. I want you to write down all the things that you think I did well, all the things you think I could do a better job on, and maybe what would you do if you had that customer? And then after I was done, I would have them coach me. I wouldn't try to push coaching on them. I'd just like, hey, what could I have done better? What the thing? And we'd have a coaching conversation. They'd coach me on it. And I'd have them do that almost every time. Eventually they'd be like, hey, will you do that for me now? And I'm like, Absolutely. You go. And if you need help, just come bring me in. I'll write the sale up in your name. I want you to take care of that customer. And I would be a part of their journey, their success journey. And I would do that from day one until I probably still do it today. And I can give different scenarios with train the trainer and all that stuff, but it's simple. It's easy. And you know how much it costs your company? Zero. And if you ever want a class for me to coach and come in and teach the fundamentals of coaching, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I love that. That's kind of like a wax on, wax off moment, by the way, when you're the boss and you're over there like, hey, give me some pointers, like coach me. And so they eventually are like, can you coach me maybe? Like, I'm the new guy. But
builds trust, and they want that same thing. So 100%.
Well, do reach out to Brent Batterman and the crew at Bedhead if you have some training needs, because everybody's different. You know, I remember back in the day putting together some training for Leggett and Platt, and we try to keep it very high level and focus on sleep and the connection to the mattress, because everybody's selling environment is sort of unique and a lot of people have their special sauce, and we didn't want to try to shoehorn in any ideas that would be disruptive. And so that's why it's so important, I think, to get with professionals like Brent so that you can take these concepts and apply them within your own organization in a tailored fashion so that you can create that environment, culture of coaching and trust and debriefing and selling the value and selling the luxury and being the barbell and lifting those weights and wearing Southwestern shirts.
Awesome. And one of the best questions you can add outside of the 3 questions is, what was their name? I've seen people go, oh, and they like either run outside the door, get their name, or whatever it is, or if in the middle of the presentation, like, hey, what can I do? How can I, what am I missing? I'm like, what's their name? Make it personal.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a little gotcha moment. But hey, you miss it one time and you can't answer that question. You do not want that to happen again. And you're going to make sure and get that person's name. Hey, by the way, just to put an extra tidy bow on this, what would you think would happen if 2 guys dressed like us were selling luxury? You think the consumer's going to be like, man, those guys are really strange? Or they might be like, man, that's a conversation piece. They're disarming.
Well, I think we have 2 minutes to make a friend before we try to make a sale. And we'd ask a lot of questions. We'd smile, we'd welcome them in, and we'd be, I think, headed in the right direction.
I love it, man. Brent Batterman, Reverend Brent Batterman, thank you so much for being here on the FAM podcast once again. Looking forward to seeing you here as 2025 continues to unfold. And of course, people can find you on LinkedIn, right?
100%. Find me on LinkedIn, Brent Batterman, and send me a note.
Yeah,
love answering questions and all that stuff.
Send Brent a note and also share this with your teams. You know, send this to your managers, to your RSAs. If you're one of those people and you're wanting to share this with your owner so you can get broader distribution and, you know, help your culture adapt to selling these types of products, but also creating conditions where you can get your reps at the low end, be ready for the high end. We love it when you share this and give us your feedback as well and tell us, hey, what we got right, what we got wrong. Just be gentle with us on the shirts. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brent, for being here. And thank you for listening to the FAM podcast every Monday on Spotify, on iTunes, on YouTube. And of course, make sure you go to thefam.com and get signed up for our newsletter. And we'll see you back here next Monday.